Hi, I'm Allison Curry from the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. I'd like to tell you about a critical opportunity that we may have to further enhance the effectiveness of state-level graduated driver licensing programs for young novice drivers. So motor vehicle crashes, the #1 cause of death and disability to adolescents in the U.S. Graduated driver licensing is an experience-based program that introduced driving privileges in phases. It works in part by keeping young drivers out of higher risk situations in order to let them gain important driving skills and on-road driving experience in lower risk situations. These restrictions include passenger restrictions, a ban on nighttime driving, electronic equipment use, and mandatory seatbelt use. GDL is one of the few interventions that's been shown to reduce the burden of crashes on adolescents, with 20 to 30% reductions in teen crash fatality rates of 16-year-olds. However, the current effectiveness of GDL is limited because police aren't able to easily identify drivers who are subject to these restrictions. There's no identifier on the car of new drivers, so this forces police to make a traffic stop and to inspect the license in order to determine their license phase. Provisions that would require a decal or identifier on the car of novice drivers would be designed to enhance law enforcement's ability to enforce GDL restrictions, to increase the likelihood that teen drivers and parents comply with GDL restrictions and drive less risky, with the ultimate goal of reducing teen crashes, injuries, and fatalities. Decal provisions have been in place in international jurisdictions for decades and really have a long-standing history of successful implementation and acceptance by families and teens. However, their safety effects have not yet been evaluated. New Jersey was the first state to implement a decal provision in May of 2010 and provided a unique opportunity to evaluate its effects. There is initial evidence over the first year that the decal supported the police's ability to enforce GDL restrictions, and there was a huge reduction in crashes, with over 1,600 crashes prevented. Early estimates of teens' compliance is not as high as we'd like it to be, but still under conditions of non-ideal compliance, we were able to prevent a large number of crashes. It's going to be important, I think, to evaluate the longer-term effect of New Jersey's law, and if we do see a positive, sustained effect, I would shift this dot significantly up and to the right. I put the feasibility scale somewhere between easy and medium because there have been many successful implementations in international jurisdictions. There's a high-level support from the public and parents for GDL programs in general, and there's been quite a bit of interest in other states. So at least six other states have introduced GDL decal legislation, although none have passed. Barriers include parent and teen concerns about privacy, in particular police profiling and targeting by predators. Of course, this influenced their willingness to comply with the decal provision. Finally, there have been a few successful repeal attempts by New Jersey lawmakers, and the case was recently heard by the New Jersey Supreme Court, which upheld the law. Finally, a few things to keep in mind. One is that New Jersey already has one of the lowest crash risks in the country, and the fact that we saw significant crash reductions in this state may suggest that implementation in states with higher crash rates may lead to even more significant reductions. And finally, almost one-third of teen driver-related fatalities happen to someone outside the teen's car. And so these provisions are designed not just to make our adolescents drivers safer, but to make all road users safer. Thank you.